The crystalline halls of the Vorathian embassy gleamed under the triple suns of Nexus Prime, casting prismatic shadows across the polished floors. Mia clutched the serving tray tighter, her knuckles white as she navigated the corridor toward the ambassador's private quarters. 6 months as a human maid in the most prestigious alien household on the station, and she still wasn't used to the cold, not the temperature. The Vorathians kept their environments uncomfortably warm for human physiology. No, it was the emotional cold that permeated every interaction, every carefully calculated gesture, every word spoken in their melodious but utterly detached voices. Ambassador Althine stood at the viewport, his translucent skin shimmering with bioluminescent patterns that indicated deep contemplation. Beside him, draped in flowing robes of living silk, was Lady Sethara, his fiancée, and the most beautiful creature Mia had ever seen. Beautiful and terrifying, the human brings refreshment, Sethara observed without turning, her sensory tendrils detecting Mia's presence before she'd even entered the room properly. Mia bowed low, setting the tray on the ornate table. That's when she heard a sound that didn't belong in this sterile, perfect environment. A whimper, a cry, a baby's cry, her head snapped up, training and decorum forgotten. In the corner of the room, partially hidden behind a privacy screen, was a bassinet. The Vorathian infant inside was no larger than a human newborn, its translucent skin flickering with erratic, distressed patterns. "It is unwell," Ambassador Althine stated flatly, as if discussing a malfunctioning appliance. "The physicians cannot determine the cause. It disrupts my work." Mia's breath caught. She knew the Vorathian custom infants who failed to thrive were returned to the cloning facilities for recycling. The ambassador's child, created from genetic material of both him and Sethara, was considered defective. "My lord," Mia began carefully, May I see the child?" Sethara's head rotated in that unsettling way Vorathians had, her large eyes fixing on Mia with something between curiosity and disdain. Why would a human servant concern herself with Vorathian offspring? "I have experience with children." "Human children?" "Yes, but perhaps—" "Do as you wish," Zalthine interrupted, already turning back to his diplomatic documents. "The recycling transport arrives and one standard are regardless." Mia approached the bassinet with trembling hands. The infant was indeed struggling, its tiny chest rising and falling too rapidly, its bioluminescent patterns chaotic and dim. She'd seen this before, in human babies, not illness, distress, loneliness, the desperate need for touch and warmth that every mammalian infant craved. Without thinking, Mia reached into the bassinet and lifted the baby into her arms. "Stop!" Sethara's voice cut through the air like a blade. She crossed the room in 3 fluid strides, her hand raised to strike. "You dare contaminate our child with your alien touch." "Please, my lady," Mia begged, cradling the infant closer. "Please, just let me try." "1 minute. I won't hurt them. I swear on my life." Kevin, the human maintenance technician, had paused in the doorway to deliver his daily report. His eyes went wide at the scene before him, Mia holding a Vorathian baby while the ambassador's fiancé loomed over her with fury written across her elegant features. "Mia, what are you?" he started. "Kevin." "Please," Mia interrupted, her voice steady despite her fear. Tell them about human babies. How they need to be held. How they die without touch." Kevin swallowed hard, then stepped forward. "It's true, Ambassador. Human infants require physical contact to survive. We call it failure to thrive when they don't receive it. Maybe Vorathian babies aren't so different." Sethara's arm remained raised, trembling with barely contained rage. "We are nothing like humans. We are evolved beyond such primitive needs." But Mia wasn't listening anymore. She was humming an old earth lullaby her grandmother had taught her. She rocked the baby gently, pressing the small form against her chest where it could hear her heart beat. She ran her fingers along the infant's back in slow, soothing circles. The room fell silent. The baby's erratic light patterns began to synchronize. The whimpering stopped. And then, for the first time since its creation 3 weeks prior, the infant's bioluminescence settled into a steady, healthy rhythm. The soft blue-gold pattern that indicated Vorathian contentment. Ambassadors Althine turned from his work, his own patterns flickering with something that might have been shock. Sethra's raised hand slowly lowered to her side. How ... double quotes the lady whispered, her voice carrying a tremor that Vorathians were never supposed to show. How did you ... all babies need to be held, Mia said softly, still rocking the now peaceful infant. All of them. It doesn't matter what planet they're from, or how advanced their species is. They need to know they're not alone. They need to feel safe. Kevin watched as tears began to stream down Mia's face, not tears of fear, but of relief and something deeper. Maternal instinct didn't have a species barrier. Sethra's composure cracked. She sank to her knees beside Mia, her elegant robes pulling around her. Teach me, she said, the first genuine emotion Mia had ever heard in a Vorathian voice. Please, teach me how to hold my child. Mia carefully transferred the baby into Sethra's arms, guiding the alien woman's movements, showing her how to support the small head, how to create the safe cocoon of warmth and pressure that every infant craved. The baby's patterns grew even brighter, pulsing with what could only be described as joy. Ambassadors Althine approached slowly, reaching out one long finger to touch his child's tiny hand. The infant grasped it instinctively, and the ambassador's bioluminescence flared with colors Mia had never seen before. The Vorathian expression of love. Cancel the recycling transport, he ordered quietly that night. As Mia and Kevin walked back to the human quarters, he put an arm around her shoulders. You know you could have been executed for touching their baby, right? I know, Mia replied, still shaking slightly from the adrenaline. But some things are more important than fear. Some things are universal. The next morning, every human worker on Nexus Prime received a message. Ambassadors Althine was hiring human consultants to teach Vorathian parents about infant care. The pay was triple standard wages. More importantly, the recycling facilities for defective Vorathian infants were permanently shut down. Sometimes humanity's greatest strength wasn't technology or warfare or diplomacy. Sometimes it was simply the courage to love fiercely, to protect the vulnerable, and to teach others that compassion wasn't a weakness, it was the most advanced evolutionary trait of all.